You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, I've told you guys, you have heard me say it. These WNBA old heads, as we call them, right? The players that are coming into the twilight of their career, that's been in the league a while, they're the ones really screwing up this entire thing. And they're the ones that is preventing a WNBA CBA deal from being signed. Why is that happening? Because they're at the end of their careers and they're trying to get paid at the last minute. So they're scrambling. Not only that, but if the league is burned to the ground from a strike, well, they really don't care because their career is almost over. They're trying to scramble to get paid, and it's kind of too late. All right, let's just be real. It's too late. All right? The league did not do crap while you were carrying the league as in your prime. You didn't make any money. The league didn't make any money, and it is what it is. All right? I mean, look, we've seen this in all kinds of other leagues. Let's be real. Look at the money in the National Football League. Now, think about players from 30 years ago and the kind of salaries they were making. Fast forward to now, you got quarterbacks. I mean, Drake May and Caleb Williams will probably end up making $70 million a year. They wasn't making that back in the early 90s, I assure you of that. This happens in every league. Natural growth plus media rights deals equals bigger and bigger salaries. The players that came before you, you're shit out of luck. Sorry, but not sorry. But the problem here is now, and it's probably your younger players that realize they're going to really get paid. That next CBA after this one, they're going to make some money. It wouldn't shock me if you see a $5 or a $7 million contract in the next CBA as a max, because provided Caitlin Clark doesn't get hurt and they don't run her out of the league or she abruptly gets fed up with them and retires, as long as she's around and knocking down those threes, the league will keep growing. All right. Plus, some of these cities they're adding, Golden State looks like, or the Golden State Valkyries looks like it's working out. I still think some of these other franchises ought to fold or move somewhere better. Atlanta, move them out of there. That little old bitty arena, move it. Washington, get them out of there. Go somewhere where you might, Connecticut, they're rightfully looking at Houston. Guys, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Check out blackwhitenetwork.com. They got a problem. My gut feeling is the old heads are now feuding with the younger players. And it's for selfish reasons. That's my opinion. These old heads want to get paid, and they don't care if they burn the league down to do it. We officially have a broken, fractured, divided players association, players union. You've got a major fracture now between the players on whether or not they should strike or whether or not they should sign a deal. I said this was going to happen. You were going to see players that were going to be like, I need to make this money. I want to make this money. I just got through making $100,000. I can make a $500,000. That changes a lot of minds. It's like a $500,000 laying there. They don't want to pick it up. And that is now seeping into minds right now. Front Office Sports, Annie Costable, I'm sure, yes. The WNBPA held a virtual meeting with its members on Tuesday evening to discuss the state of labor negotiations. The tone quickly became tense. The tone quickly became tense as players discussed the best path forward, according to multiple sources with direct knowledge of the meeting. One of the causes of disagreement between players, according to multiple sources, is the approach to the potential strike. Players authorized a potential strike in a near unanimous vote in mid-December, but some players have changed their minds since. Uh-oh. One source said more than half of player leadership reaffirmed their commitment to striking if necessary. So, what do you mean more than half? If we're talking about just committee leadership, it's made up of 7 players. Is it a 4-3 vote now? Is it barely in favor of a strike? Led by President Nike Ogumake, who, by the way, is one of the old heads I'm talking about, that now that they're at the twilight, they're at the end of their career, they're trying to scramble and make a bunch of money. All I've got to say to those old heads is go to Project B. She's already going to Project B. Go play over there for about 2 years and make you, $4 million or $5 million or $10 million, whatever you can make over there. But don't burn the WNBA down because and this comes down to, in the back of their mind, these players are jealous that they are not about to make this kind of money that they see on the horizon. They know there's about to be money made in this league because of Caitlin Clark, but they're too old to benefit from it now. Let's just be real. They're too old to benefit from it now. It's about resentment, folks. A letter from the WNBPA Executive Director, Terry Carmichael Jackson. That sounds like let's be real. That sounds like a radical preacher if you're Terry Carmichael Jackson. To union members and obtained by Front Office Sports, verified the tone of Tuesday's meeting. Quote, last night's conversation was spirited, passionate, and at times tough. In other words, people was scorching earth in that meeting. People were, when you literally say at times tough, you make it that far, that's somebody that wants to be like, I don't want to say somebody walked in there and burned it to the ground, but they did. Jackson went on to say this signaled the health of the union. Sure. If that health is life support, sure. Quote, honest debate is not division. It's engagement. Look, let me drop a little Texas on you. Horse shit. There. I cleaned that up. Bull shiznit. I cleaned that up for you. Is not division. Please. Please. Y'all are a fractured femur right now. Everyone has different experiences in life and in their life. Veteran guard Lexi Brown told Front Office Sports. So I did not expect all of us to come into the meetings week by week and just be kumbaya and everybody agree on everything. That's not reality. But wait a minute. Let's scroll up. At one time, it was a near unanimous vote. Remember that? We just talked about that right there. Now it's not. Now it's not. Man, I got to tell you. Oh, boy. Pressures being placed on negotiations by the league has been met with confusion as the union waited roughly 6 weeks for a counterproposal. Additionally, Jackson made it clear that the CBA would not become final without the vote of members. As was the case for the previous CBA, the union would need the majority of players who vote to be in agreement in order to reach a deal. They're going to get an agreement done, folks. In Jackson's letter, she told the players a survey sent in the coming days to gather feedback on the league's current proposal. We're going to find out a vote. We're going to find out how many people actually support this. We all want to play. We want a fair CBA, but fair looks different to different people. So how do we get to a place where it looks good to everybody, to the majority, to the minority, to max players, to role players, the rookies? How do we get to that place where fair looks the same? Man, I got to tell you, folks. It's getting ugly. It is getting officially ugly. I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is. You got old players that are full of jealousy and resentment. They already don't like Caitlin Clark. Let's be honest. They already don't like her. And they're watching the amount of money that is about to be made by this league because it looks like they're finally putting teams in the right places where they're going to get support, blah, 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 blah. I mean, like if they ever come back to Houston and they have the right players on that team, I mean, you put a Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull on a Houston team, that sumbitch will sell out every night. They'll easily put 10, 12, 15,000 people in seats in Houston. Easily. This is interesting. It is. You better keep Caitlin Clark happy, though, or the younger players won't benefit either. But that's what it is. They're trying to squeeze in. You notice all the people talking shit, Natasha Cloud getting a little longer in the tooth. She's always palling around with Brittany Griner, real long in the tooth. A dinosaur, some would say. These players are about to watch all these younger players make a lot more money, and they're pissed. So they're trying to squeeze every dime they can out of it. And it's not going to happen with this CBA. They missed the mark. It's not going to happen. Their gravy train has not rolled in. Some could argue it's still more money than they deserve to get paid. But you get my point. Sorry. The league didn't get popular until the end of your career. That's a little funny, isn't it? It worked out, didn't it? There's a section of old players that need to get out of the league anyway, and people will enjoy watching the league more. There, said it out loud. Why? Because the younger players, the newer players, these rookies the last 2 years, they're more likable. They're not venomous and you know, I mean, tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.